So just from where you are, Engineer Nancy, so you've raised a couple of issues. I'd like to ask, of these issues, say you were to pick two, just two of those issues, and you were asked if you were given this particular issue to address. Say you have an interest in policy matters, so now you are a policy maker, and this is an engineering welfare issue. So how would you go about addressing it, from defining what the issue is all the way to resolving that particular issue? How would you do that?
Get you. Maybe I'll just highlight maybe two of the issues I see is a big problem. Like I believe now Engineer Mwangi will discuss like what you've said. So maybe I'll discuss two of the main issues that I feel are very poignant to practicing engineers within my area, maybe plus 10 or something like that, right? Allow me. Where plus 10, I'm actually overacting, but then don't even mention that. Yes, exactly. So number one, I think one of the major issues we have is diversification. That is the first very thing I feel is a challenge to the welfare of engineers. The inability to have the diversification of engineering, you see. This one, and this for me is very wide. Number one is geographical diversification, you see. I think our inability to export engineering sometimes, especially for my cadre of my peer of cadre, our inability to export engineering out of Kenya, so to speak. You see, it's countable. I think it's countable the number of engineers I can tell who've worked in South Africa, who've worked in Morocco, who've worked in Israel, who've worked in Canada. You see something like that, you see. So most of our engineering practice is more or less localized within, you see. So even if there's an opportunity, even in Uganda, even if the opportunities in Uganda, we find it very difficult on how to get on a vehicle to get a job in Uganda. Maybe there's an assembly job, you see. Right now, they're trying to do electric maybe vehicles, you see. I saw also in Rwanda, you see. Does a mechanical engineer in Kenya have this opportunity to tap into this?
Yes, okay.
So number one is the geographical diversification. The second diversification is actually the diversification in practice, you see. Because I think for a lot of time, this one, I don't even want to say it's an institutional problem. I think it's also how we've been framed to think in a very straight-jacketed, in a very narrow way of what, say, for example, I'm a civil engineer, of what civil engineering is. From school, I know I need to know civil 3D and AutoCAD, you see. But then have I considered maybe going to talk to the people in the village about how the road impacts them? Is it civil engineering per se? You see, right now maybe I'm practicing road safety engineering, but have I really considered from school that this is an area I can explore? You see, so these things come more at the tail end. You see, like later on when you've done 10 years, then you see, I can pursue policy. I can do economics. You see. But yet, straight from school, you can't imagine someone can become a transport economist simply because they did mechanical engineering, or a road safety engineer because they did mechanical engineering, you see. Yes, so this diversification fails. And so because of it, we all go through a narrow pipe. And when there's no resources within the narrow pipe, we let any lush grass that is on the side to let maybe other cows eat it, other than, I'm not referring, let me leave the cow analogy alone, yes. Lastly, this is rather very local, but it's an issue that we have to discuss all the time. You see, that engineering in Kenya must go beyond civil engineering, you see.
Yes, that is actually true.
even despite anything else, that moving forward, we've already done a lot, but moving forward, we must be very strategic to bring in the less known. You see, the aeronautical engineers, the biotechnical, the medical engineers. We must be very strategic and actually bring them to the fold. So any strategy that we work on diversification should cover those three areas.